Everybody, thank you so much for watching Real Estate Insider with Angelo Christian. We've been doing this for over 6 years now. We've shot over 750 videos. So today with me, I have a very special guest, Ty, the new home construction specialist. He's an expert in his domain with new home construction. He's based out of Utah. He is the source. He has a great YouTube following, and he focuses on new home construction and helping consumers to educate them and inform them on the whole process of how to build a home and obviously cost savings and advantages. So Ty, thank you so much for being on the show today, my friend. Very happy to, like I said, a lot of our customers are new construction, and you're right. It's from the lending side of me being a lender, it's very intimidating. There's budgets, there's deadlines, there's multiple. Sometimes the builder's lender wants to do the deal. They don't like outside lenders. They try to offer all these incentives. And then they have to go to the design center. So I want to hear, if you can just break it down, who you are, your channel, the whole new home construction process. Cause a lot of my customers are new home construction customers. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. I'm a big fan of yours too. And I appreciate everything you've done to help a lot of people. I'm Ty, the real estate guy. I'm a new home construction specialist, and I started creating YouTube videos to help people understand the process of building a home because it's confusing and scary. And, I love helping people. That is the primary reason why I'm in new home construction. I love real estate. I love building homes. And for me personally, I've built 5 homes, and nothing's cooler than that. I love seeing my creation.
Yeah, it is. It is very exciting. I agree. It is. Despite the chaos, it's very fun. Yeah.
Right. And it's sad when somebody's experience is ruined, right? It should be fun. It should be exciting, but it's so confusing and it's so detailed, and people just end up getting upset. And so I want it to be fun. It should be fun for all of us, right?
Okay, so walk us through memory lane, or tell us what's on your mind about the new home construction process. Pretend I'm a consumer and I want to build a house. What's the next thing?
Yeah. So, I tell people step number 1, talk to your lender, right? Let's figure out how much home you can afford to buy and what your monthly payment is going to be.
Right. Yeah.
Because I bought my first house when I wasn't in real estate, and I went out and looked at all these awesome homes, and guess what? I didn't qualify for those homes.
Yeah, reality.
I had to build something smaller, and it was heartbreaking. It sucked.
Yeah. Yeah. We have, you probably talk to people that they have a champagne taste with a beer budget. Yeah.
Almost everybody does. Right? We see these big, beautiful homes. Yep. We see kids younger than us buying these big, beautiful homes. We don't know they make, $50,000 a year more than us.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so it's really important to talk to your lender first, so you know how much home you can buy.
Right.
And then
I agree with that. I agree. And on our channel, we talk about a lot, Ty, to get pre-approved first. I can't tell you how many people, and you guys probably won't even start a project unless you have an approval, but how many people go under contract before they even know what they qualify for, and they put earnest money down. It's unbelievable.
Right. Yeah.
But no, I agree with you completely.
Yeah. So you're right. A ton of builders will actually take a contract and your earnest money check without a loan approval. I've worked for some of those builders. I've actually worked for 6 different home builders, but for the most part, you just got to start with the lender first. It's going to save you potentially a ton of heartache. And you might qualify for a $700,000 home, but you might only want to pay for a $500,000 home. So you should also know what your payment's going to be.
Right.
So someone like Angelo can go in and say, yeah, you can qualify for $700,000, but this will be your payment. And you might be like, no.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can say, okay, if you want your payment here, then you only want to spend $500,000 or whatever.
Right. You get people like that. You have some people that, I've seen them all where they qualify for so much more, but they want their payment lower, or vice versa. They only qualify for this, but they want this grandiose house that, it's never. So that's the first step. And obviously that's very important. What happens after that? Right.
So second, you want to research the home builders. right? You want to know within your search area who's out there and do they do a good job? Because there's a lot of builders out there, and let's just be honest, they don't do that great of a job. And the other problem is there's a lot of builders that just don't care about you.
Wow.
Right. And so we want to find a builder that has good ratings. You don't go online, research them. If they have 3.5 stars or lower, you probably don't want to go there. But at that point, you have to make a more educated decision.
Right.
Like, what are they going to do? Other builders, they might entice you with a lower price, but then you go to add upgrades and they're super expensive compared to other builders.
Oh, okay. They kind of lure you in, and then they kind of get you in the back end. Okay.
They get you to commit. You put down your earnest money, and then you're kind of stuck there. So, I have tons of videos that kind of explain this process and goes more in depth than we're going to go today. But, you want to research those builders. And if you're looking in a range, like let's say you just want to stay in a certain city, but home prices are a little higher than you want to go, expand your search a little bit more, maybe an extra 10 minutes or 15-minute drive. Home prices might drop, or you might find an excellent builder or bigger home sites or whatever else. I actually, in my last house, I went outside of an area I was never even considering. And I am so glad that I did. I'm so blessed to live in this amazing community, and I never would have even considered it.
Because you're saying you expanded your search?
I expanded my search area. Yeah, I went out, 15 minutes further than what I would have initially considered.
Right. So researching the build. So when you say research, do you mean just like going online and looking on their Google reviews, or what are you saying?
Yeah, start there. Start with a Google review. That's smart. And then you'll find maybe 2 or 3 builders that are, kind of in your okay, these look like they're okay. People say they give a good value or whatever else.
Right.
Then you actually have to get out and talk to those builders.
Right. Right. I think that's important. So basically do your online search, do your due diligence, make sure they're good reviews, then go out and meet with them. And would you recommend does a builder have to be licensed? I mean, is there a license part or?
Yeah, I'm not sure how it is in every different state, but yeah, generally the builders don't have to be licensed. I mean, most builders, they're not going to be out there building homes if they don't have the appropriate licenses or whatever.
Okay. Do you recommend that they should look up the license, or, I mean?
No, I wouldn't worry about anything like that. But, personally, what I have found, at least in Utah, is that if you build with a builder that has a great reputation or a good reputation, you don't have to worry. Like if something seems like it's maybe not right or it's not done the way you would expect it to be done, if that builder has a great reputation, you can trust that even though they're not doing it the way you thought they would do it, it's being done correctly, or sooner or later they get a bad reputation.
Right. Well, sure. I mean, you're right. I mean, especially in the social media era that we're in now. I mean, you can't. I mean, you say one wrong thing, and you're blasted. I mean, so
right, could be game over.
Yeah, we know by our ex-president about that. So. But yeah, I mean, second step is go meet with them. Now, do you recommend that they should talk to a few builders or just one builder, or what are you saying?
I would probably meet with at least 2, just so you can kind of compare the 2 against each other. But if you do your online search and there's 3 or 4 good builders in the area and you don't know which one, I would go spend a couple hours and talk to each one of them, because I think talking to them individually is going to help you decide, okay, the pricing looks equal, but maybe this one offers 1/4 acre home sites versus 0.10 acre home sites, right? For the same price. So it's good to kind of research and compare. Also
probably a good personality fit, right? I mean, if there's a good chemistry there with the person. So,
for sure.
Okay. What do we do after that? I mean, what's next? I mean,
so once you've selected that one builder, and obviously part of selecting that one builder is selecting the correct floor plan as well, because you might like this builder better, but you might like the home better over at this builder, and so you might choose to go with this home over here, even though that builder wasn't maybe your favorite. But once you've selected the builder and the floor plan, at that point, you're going to write the contract. And like I said, you can talk to Angelo first and get your pre-qualification letter so you know how much you can afford. The house might be starting at $400,000 and have a lot premium of $20,000, and you might only want to go to $500,000. So you know you cannot spend more than $80,000 on upgrades. And $80,000 seems like a lot of money, but you add a 3-car garage, that's $15,000. You know, you add the grandmaster bathroom, that's another $8,000, right? You add a few major structural things, all of a sudden you only have $20,000 at the design center.
Right. So they pick the builder, they pick the design, they pick the lot. They know what they qualify for. They write the contract. Now in that, so let's talk about that. So are these consumers doing construction loans in their name? Because this comes up all the time with me. Is the builder making the consumer go get the loan, or is the builder building the house on his line of credit? What's happening there?
That's an incredible question. I'm actually really, really glad you asked that, because generally the builder's going to carry the loan unless you're building a custom home. And that takes me to my next recommendation. If you're looking for the best value, and I'm not trying to hurt any of these small local, onesie, twosie builders or whatever, custom home builders, because they do have their place, but generally you're going to pay a lot more to build a custom home. So if you're looking for the best value, generally you want to go with a kind of a track home builder, right? And that builder is actually going to carry the construction loan for you. My last home was custom, and I had to go get the construction loan myself. It's a lot harder. Yeah. You're carrying the loan throughout the construction process.
Okay,
it keeps going up.
Yep. Yeah. So, Ty, we get that call all the time. Well, I just want to get a construction loan. I say, look, you got to put 20% down. Oh, I thought it was zero down. No, you can't get it. You can't get a construction loan with zero down. It doesn't exist. At least in my world, I've never seen a zero down construction loan. I tell people all the time, you got to have the builders usually, if they're well renowned, a bank has given them a line of credit. Have their own warehouse line to build those houses based on your loan approval. The bank has gotten you approved for a permanent loan, and the builder. Now, it can't be extremely custom, like you said, because in case you back out, they can't sell it. But they'll normally require. Let's go to the contract real quick, because in the contract they're going to require some type of deposit, right? This is a major commitment for the builder.
Correct. Yeah. Once again, you're leading me right into where I was going to go. If you build custom, a lot of times you also have to purchase the home site separately, and you generally need 40% down to buy a home site. So building custom can be really expensive up front.
Right.
And so, sorry, what was your question again?
Well, no, just going into the contract, because that's a huge commitment on the builder. If he's going to spend $300,000 or $400,000 to build a house or whatever that number is, what are his expectations?
So generally when you write a contract with a home builder, you need to leave an earnest money check, just like you do when you buy an existing home. And builders are going to usually ask for anywhere from $3,000 to like $10,000 as an earnest money. Usually it's a little bit lower, maybe $2,000 or $3,000, maybe $5,000. But they're also going to want a construction or an options deposit. And so that construction or option deposit is going to cost you, usually it's a percentage of your options, right? 20% of your options. So if you added $80,000 of options, you'd leave about 20% of that extra. Right. That way, if you back out, the builder, if they have to, can remove some things. And I've been with a builder before that the selections were done so, I wouldn't say they were done poorly. They were done for that particular person, and the general public wouldn't like those options that were selected. So the builder went in, and it cost the builder about $20,000, $25,000 to remove what that person selected and put back in the way they would have built it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So basically you have, when you execute contract, you have to put an earnest deposit. And then if there's some type of special custom options, they have to put a deposit on that too, or pay that.
Correct. Yeah.
That makes sense. And then now, I guess I'm sure customers ask you all the time, is what happens if, I don't get the loan or the deal falls through? Do I get my money back? And what do you tell people?
Yeah. So like you were saying earlier, a lot of times when people write a contract to build a house, they don't even have a loan approval yet, which is crazy. But in the contract, generally, if you don't qualify for the home, you get that money back. Generally, though, once you put down your options deposit, they are moving forward with or without you. So be prepared. Once you put that construction deposit down, they're building that house with or without you.
Let me ask you this, and I'm sure this question comes up. Let's say that a builder has somebody sign a contract and it's non-refundable earnest money. Would you advise someone to sign that type of contract?
That's a tough question. Because generally what's happening right now, because we're in hot market, is the builder's requiring the deposit up front with a loan approval. And generally the loan approval is the only thing that lets you out of the contract.
Yeah.
So I would just say this, if you build a home, that you be prepared when you put that money down, you're not getting it back until you close with that builder. If you choose not to close with that builder, you can wave bye-bye to that money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that if you think about it too, I mean, unless, there's another pandemic or, maybe there's a severe, I don't know, loss or whatever, but those builders are committing a lot too.
Sure.
I'm going to tell you, I used to own a construction company, and I had built a customer contracted us to build a custom home. And at that time it was about a $700,000 home about 15 years ago. And during the middle of the construction, they got a divorce, and he fled the country. And he disappeared, and she's like, "Hey, I can't live in this house anymore. I don't make enough income to live in this home. Sorry, see you later." And and I got stuck with that house. We finally sold it, but it took almost a year to sell because it was in 2008 in the recession. So my point is that, I mean, we committed so much time, energy, and effort. So the flip side of it is that, the builders commit a lot. And I agree with you, Ty, that if you are going to go through this whole process, be prepared that, you're not going to get that money back, because, I mean, it's not fair to the builder either. Again, I guess, unless there's some extenuating circumstances, guys, I tell people that too, because this is what I see a lot. I don't know if you see this. They go put a contract on a house, and then they go back online, and then they go to another builder, they go to another development, and then they go with a realtor, and they want to play this, musical chairs, and you can't do that if you're committed, right? You got to stay with that deal.
Yeah, once you put that earnest money down, that it's like, it's like putting the ring on the finger, right?
Yeah,
it's just you're committing to that person, and let's just move forward. And like you said, it's not. I know a lot of times people think, oh, it's this big builder, like they have millions of dollars and whatever else, but one house can hurt.
Yeah.
One person, and we get people canceling like 2 weeks before closing. Sometimes we're like, dude, like, wow. That's tough for the builder, and it's tough for the salesperson too. Like, we've committed to you, we've worked with you through the process, we care about you. Like, it's hard to see you go.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I'm just curious about that. What are some of the common reasons why someone would cancel 2 weeks prior?
Most people don't, but, especially in a market like this, but people just get cold feet. It's like the runaway bride, it's like you start seeing everything come together and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm really doing this. No, I can't do it. And then they bolt. Yeah,
it's funny. I had a customer do that about 2 weeks ago. She canceled. She had a beautiful home in Florida, and it was beautiful. Everything was fine. The payment was fine. She was renting. She needed to buy a house, and she just one day called up the realtor and my lender and said, "I can't do this. I'm too scared." And I was just like, and we tried to walk her off the ledge and say, "Man, this doesn't make any sense. You're wasting money on rent." And so, you get people like that. It's rare. I haven't seen that happen in years. Like someone say, "I'm scared to buy a house," but I mean, it is. You should be excited. People should be excited. It's very exciting. You're about to change your life. You're going to the next level. With your life. So okay. So we sign the contract. What happens? What happens after that? What's the next steps?
Well, you're gonna have to practice some patience, because now that you signed the contract, you've made all your selections, it seems like everything's moving so fast, and all of a sudden it's just going to stop. And it's only stopping on your side, by the way. In the back, we can't see, you have the architect drawing your floor plans specifically the way you wanted, with your fireplace, your 3-car garage, grandmaster bathroom. When he's done, he sends those plans to the architect, and the architect does his thing, right? And this can be a couple weeks. When I say a couple, I mean, we're talking easily 2 to 8 weeks of, depending on how busy the builder is and how backed up everything is. Then when the architect's done, he sends the plans to the city to get a building permit. And I've had a city take 18 weeks to give us the permit back. And so you're going to get really frustrated if you're not educated. Right? I mean, this process could easily take 3 months before you see a hole in the ground. So just remember that once you've made your selections, try to just sit back and relax, because the builder doesn't have control over what's happening, and neither do you.
Right. So there we just kind of go through the process, waiting for all the architectural permits, all the designs, all that getting finalized. Yeah. And then, I mean, the construction obviously commences. From there, where do we go from there? What happens after that? So
generally, once the builder picks up the permit from the city, and just so you know, that is an upfront cost to the builder. I don't know what the cost is in Texas, but a building permit in Utah can easily be $18,000 to $25,000. That's the builder putting down their money to pick up the permit from the city to build your house. So a lot of times people are like, well, I put down $12,000. It's like, yeah, well, the builder just put down $25,000 to build your house. And usually at that point, once the builder picks up the permit from the city, they'll schedule all the different trades, from digging the hole, pouring footings, foundation, framing, 4-way, and on and on and on. And so generally, at least with the good builders, the salesperson will call you and say, okay, guys, guess what? I got great news. We're going to dig your hole next week. Right?
All right. So, I mean, basically we go through this process, the house gets built. I mean, generally, what are you seeing like timeframes to build a home? How long does it take?
So yeah, you're generally, from the day you write the contract to the day the builder picks up the permit, can be anywhere from 3 to 7 months.
Okay.
Depending on how busy your builder is, depending on how busy your market is, and also depending on how slow the city is. Some cities are just really, really slow. And you can have one city side by side, and one city gets building permits out in 2 weeks, and the other builder gets them out in 12 weeks. So they're all different. And then once we pick up the permit from the city and start the build process, you're another 3 to 4 months generally.
Wow. Okay.
So you're 8 to 12 months.
Wow. That's a long time. Now,
yeah.
What do you think is there any, so after that, the home gets completed, we close on the loan, they move into the house. Is there any home warranties that come with the home or anything like that?
Most builders will do at least a 1-year builder warranty, where the builder will come back and repair anything for like a year, anything that goes wrong. Generally, anything that's going to go wrong due to faulty workmanship, or even just, sometimes there's accidents. Like one time the sheetrocker hit a water pipe. He just nicked it just a little bit. And so like months later, people noticed the wall was getting wet. The paint was kind of almost melting off the wall. And it just took the nail rusting, and months of that nail rusting before it finally gave out and the water started kind of flowing.
Oh, wow.
From that pipe. Right. Wow. So generally anything that can go wrong from faulty workmanship or any sort of accident like that, that'll be caught within that first year, and the builder will come back and take care of that. But that's also part of researching the builder, because some builders don't have a good warranty, and those builders generally have bad scores on Google or bad reviews.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this: is there any tips or anything that you recommend for people that are watching the show? We get thousands of people that watch and stuff like that. What are the biggest takeaways? Is there any major lessons, any scams to avoid, any type of, big tips from Ty the new home construction specialist that we can let the world know?
Yeah. So, Angelo, as you know, I have probably 200 videos on YouTube. Most of them focus on new home construction. And I have videos that explain like how to handle the new home the final walkthrough. So you know what to expect as you're meeting with the builder before you close on your home, what things to look for and inspect. So just make sure you're educated before you start, because like I said, I have several videos that go really in depth on what you should know as you move through the process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Obviously, and that's important. I agree. Is there anything that people should avoid when they're trying to get a new home built? Is there any type of because I guess the biggest takeaway is obviously you need to get educated, you need to get pre-approved, do your research on your builder. Is there anything like that you've seen in all your career in real estate and construction, and like any type of thing that people should be avoiding or being very careful of?
Yeah. So I'll go back to saying this just real quick. The most important thing is pick a good builder. If you pick the right builder, almost every other problem will be taken care of. Mm-hmm. But if we're talking about things to avoid, I would personally not want to build my house on a slope or anywhere because water goes downhill and it can run into your house. So you don't want to build in areas where you have super high water table or, like a lot of times people are like, oh, I'll just put in a rock retaining wall once we move in. I don't know if you know this, but retaining walls can cost you $80,000, real quick.
Wow.
So those are things to consider if there's sloping or steep hills right around you. And anything that concerns you with that sort of thing, you want to make sure the builder takes care of ahead of time. Mm-hmm. Because once you close, especially after that 1 year is up, you are on your own. It's your house, kind of whatever happens. And as you put in your landscaping, be careful to maintain the slope that the builder has put on the lot. So the water runs, off your roof, down the drain pipes and away from your home. Because a lot of people, start moving things or put a walkout basement in or do different things. And all of a sudden now the slope of the yard goes into your house, and water is not your friend.
Right. So let me ask you this. These are all really, really good tips, and this is very valuable information. How can people find more out about Ty? Where's do you have a social media? You mentioned your YouTube. Can you kind of share that with us?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Really, the best thing is just go to YouTube and type in Ty Wilde, TYWILDE. And you'll see this ugly mug will pop right up for you. But I'm on LinkedIn and everywhere else.
Instagram. You have an Instagram?
I have Instagram for sure. It's just Ty the Real Estate Guy on Instagram.
I like that.
And we're looking into TikTok actually. So I know there's different things for every person, right?
Right.
And that our younger generation, I love that younger generation. They want quick hitting information. They don't want to watch. I have a in-depth new home construction video that takes 1 hour and 9 minutes, right? That's too long for most of my
millennial.
I call it this selfie generation.
Yeah.
So right. A quick 1 minute TikTok video where I'm giving them the 3 steps, to buying a home or whatever. I know that works better for you guys. So I'm thinking about you.
I like that. That's a good idea. I like that. So and all your handles will be in our description there, but I really appreciate you coming on the show today to educate us. You taught me some things as well, and we'll push this out to everyone. Guys, if you want to learn about new construction, what to know before you sign the contract, before you commit to a builder, watch Ty's show. Check him out on Instagram. Check him out on YouTube, his Facebook. And Ty, obviously, if we can help you with any customers that need to get pre-approved, we lend in Utah.
Awesome.
We have all kinds of programs for all different types of people with either no credit or if they're, have the best of credit. So thank you so much for, coming on the show today. I really, really appreciate you. And I wish you the best for 2021, man.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor.
Yeah. Thank you so much, buddy. You take care.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.